So, the map is Battlefield of Eternity. The bans are Ana, Cassia, Garrosh, and Tassadar. Okay, my team has Diablo, Artanis, and Lucio. And the enemy team has Raynor and Vala. And this is a very realistic draft because on BOE everyone thinks, oh, we need to kill the Immortal. And it's not as much about the team fight or the laning or the ganking or the mercs or the... it's like, oh, let's get a lot of damage on the Immortal. So someone is like, I know Artanis sucks, but I'm going to go Artanis first. And then Raynor Vala. And then they're like, okay, Diablo Lucio. So, the next thing, the question here is... the question is, the red team, which 2 out of 3 should they take first? They need tank, heal, and solo lane. So should they first hit tank and heal, tank and solo lane, or heal and solo lane? And because I can't hear what you guys are saying, I can only see you chat, they need bans. Well, don't worry about the bans for a second. Okay, worry about it. The red team is gonna ban Li Ming, and the blue team is gonna ban... No, it doesn't matter. We'll ban the ones that they should need anyway. Just forget about the bans for a second. But yeah, they'll probably ban Li Ming, and that one they ban Rexxar. Okay, cool, done. So, the red team, what should they take first? Heal and tank, tank and solo, or heal and solo? Now, the blue team already has a healer, a tank, and a solo. So, it's not really important which one they still need to contest for. Sometimes you'll be like, well, they don't have heal yet, so this one should take heal now, so that maybe you take the heal that they wanted, right? But they already have everything. So it doesn't really matter which one you take in that sense. But sometimes you want to hide a pick. If you want to go for a special pick, sometimes you want to hide it. Red should take Chromie and Raynor should go solo lane. And so that's you thinking, Trailblazer, because Chromie is so strong right now, and Raynor sucks, so just park him in the solo lane. But then at least you have Chromie. But then you're stuck with 3 backline that have very little self-heal, if any, against Artanis Diablo. It's a little risky. Chromie isn't nerfed yet, that's true. Rhaegar and ETC, and then you delay your solo lane pick. So there's a lot of angles here, because let's say you want Rhaegar, ETC, and then finally Malthael to kill Artanis Diablo. Then maybe you want to hide the Malthael until the last, because it's the most surprising one. And the heal isn't so much as an important surprise that maybe gets counterpicked. It's also, of course, possible to delay, to say like, oh, we should go for ETC now and Rhaegar. And then whatever they pick, they don't know that we're going to take Malthael. But let's say it's not Rhaegar, and you say, okay, we take Malthael now. They don't know if they need to draft Burst to burst through a mouth, or if they should draft splash damage to disable an Uther play. So it kind of depends. Do you have a special heal pick that you're going to go for? Do you want to go Uther for some reason so that you can combine Divine Shield Moshpit? Then you should protect the Uther and pick that one last. But overall, besides which one you want to pick first, the next question is simply what should they take? Which tank is best against Artanis Diablo Lucio? So we're going to look at what is still left. These are the tanks and bruisers. They can go Johanna. Helps with some blind against Artanis. It can help against Diablo's level 7 auto attack. You can Blessed Shield Lucio before he sound barriers. And it's kind of a defensive tank that helps to kind of become this anchor point to protect Raynor and Vala a bit. Or you could go Tyrael, but Tyrael is quite good with diving. Raynor, Vala are anything but diving. You could do Garrosh, but it's a bit risky to throw in Artanis or Diablo. And Lucio will leave very quickly again as well. You throw in Artanis Diablo, it helps them to engage on Raynor Vala. And you don't want to use Garrosh just to throw people out. Mal'Ganis is possible, but he ends up actually often diving too far because he wants to get his combo stuns and sleeps off. So he's going to definitely abandon his backline against Artanis Diablo. Yeah, you can't pick Garrosh because he's banned. That's true. Arthas is actually pretty good. You can either use Arthas as main tank and he ends up helping against Artanis' auto attacks. Or you can go like Malthael, Yrel on the solo lane. They deal with Artanis. And then you take a tank that deals with Diablo. And ETC is just solid here because Face Smelt can interrupt Shadow Charge of Diablo, so I think it's a fine pick. You can interrupt Diablo's Diablo's Shadow Charge, and you can interrupt his combo where he stuns someone into a wall, then he wants to flip him. In comes ETC. It's very solid. But ETC never likes being alone on the front lane because it's difficult for him to stay alive. Depending, let's say they end up going Tychus, the blue team. Then how does ETC stay alive? Artanis distracts the backline, Lucio sound barriers people, and ETC gets torched by a Tychus and some kind of mage. So ETC would like the solo laner or the healer to help him out a bit on the front line. So we can look at some bruisers. You could go with the Malthael like we discussed before, but Malthael is also someone that needs a little bit of healing, and so do Raynor and Vala. So it becomes really difficult for a healer to heal all of them. So you would actually like the solo laner, I think, to be a little bit more self-sufficient. For this reason, maybe Arthas would be actually really solid. You go with Arthas, you've got the second solo laner, second frontliner. He deals serious damage. He can stick to either Diablo and Artanis and reduce their range a lot, and it allows ETC to protect a lot better. Yrel is another great suggestion by Genesis. Mei is not banned. Yeah, you could go for Mei. Mei ETC? Not sure how that works. Probably not too bad. Sonya is a great pick. So, oh, that apparently works if you backspace. Yeah, Sonya, Yrel, Uther, Blaze, Arthas. All cool picks. Let's say it's Arthas. And then it's time for the blue team. So, what do you take? Enemy has Arthas, ETC, Raynor, Vala. What do you go for in the backline? You still need something that can kill the objective. You've got 2 melee. Greymane was thinking the same thing. Makes sense. But he's not fantastic against Arthas either, Greymane. And Zeratul is very good late game, 16 plus. But Raynor Vala are not going to allow this game to go late because they're going to win all the objectives. Jaina says Var Danzig. I actually like that a lot. Thanks to Artanis Diablo, there's going to be a little bit less attention on Jaina because Artanis always gets focused because he's out there and he has no escape. So Jaina could be a cool flank hero. She can really blow up a Raynor or Vala if she flanks with one of the tanks protecting her, or Lucio able to boost her out. Could also do Lunara, a little bit more independent, but might be too slow actually to kill Arthas ETC and even Raynor with her poison. I think you need a little bit more burst. So I think Greymane is a cool choice. Jaina is a cool choice. What else would be good? I don't think Hanzo would do much. Hanzo's arrow is too likely to get impacted on one of the tanks to really hit the important targets. Sylvanas, I think it's a little bit risky. It's not bad per se, but she does so much damage to the one that's next to her. Against 2 tanks, I'm not sure that she can put enough pressure on the front line to really open it up and allow the battle to open up. And of course she's good on the map, but Sylvanas kind of fake damage. She really needs to dive on Raynor or Vala in order to get the top damage, and those are not her priority targets. She prefers to go for a mage when she trades aggressively. I like Jaina, I like Tychus, I like Greymane, and also Zul'jin. Arthas is mobility dependent. You could do Jaina. It's a bit risky for her to interact with ETC though because of Power Slide. Tychus is gonna have trouble trading with those two because they're quite mobile. Jaina, Zul'jin, let's say. You don't have that long to think in ladder anyway. Jaina, Zul'jin, that's the draft. Final pick for a red team. They delayed their healer pick. We were thinking maybe Uther so that you can have a mosh pit with Divine Shield. Deckard seems solid. Slow down Artanis, root him a bit. Put some pressure on Jaina from afar. And heal pots for everyone. There isn't that much burst. Jaina has burst, but she's also the most vulnerable. I like it. You could do Rhaegar and Bloodlust as well. Deckard because of double AA DPS. You mean to give the level 13 or 16 damage buff? Lily? Yeah, Lily has the blinds for Artanis, but is unlikely to hit Zul'jin in the most cases because of the front line. I like Rhaegar Bloodlust. It does give you a weak early game because he doesn't have as much sustain. It's not that safe for Rhaegar to play into this team. I think Rhaegar's possible. Brightwing is also kind of possible. Tyrande if you play it very well. And Deckard. I feel like Deckard is the safe one. Rhaegar the aggressive one. Brightwing, the special one. But yeah, it's all solid. And you could do Uther. Uther is risky because it relies on synergy. That's a cool one. Draft complete. Who has the better draft? Blue or red? I'd say red because blue has Artanis.